Right. Go.
Yes.
Okay.
Go for it. I'm ready.
Okay, so I'm going to explain my presentation because I'm doing two different items and they seem kind of unrelated, so I'm going to try to explain why. The first thing I'm going to read is a letter from Sullivan Ballou. He was a war captain, and he was in the Battle of Bull Run, which was in 1861. And it's a letter from him to his wife back home. And then I'm going to sing a World War II torch song called No Love, No Nothing. And the idea behind me doing both of these pieces is that one is from the fields back home, and one is, trying to reach from home to her lover in the fields. So it's kind of also dependent on the time period. So I think of the voice as a way of expressing what you're saying, not just physically how I sound when I say it, because obviously it's a man writing it, it's not going to sound like him, but the kind of language that's used, and the emphasis on certain words, you can tell like what time period it's from. So that's kind of what I'm focusing on. July 14th, 1861, Camp Clark, Washington. My very dear Sarah, the indications are very strong that we shall move in a few days, perhaps tomorrow. Lest I should not be able to write again, I feel impelled to write a line that may fall under your eye when I shall be no more. I have no misgivings about, or lack of confidence in, the cause in which I am engaged, and my courage does not halt or falter. I know how strongly American civilization now leans on the triumph of the government, and how great a debt we owe to those who went before us through the blood and sufferings of the Revolution. And I am willing, perfectly willing, to lay down all my joys in this life, to help maintain this government, and to pay that debt. Sarah, my love for you is deathless. It seems to bind me with mighty cables that nothing but omnipotence could break. And yet my love of country comes over me like a strong wind and bears me unresistibly on with all these chains to the battlefield. The memories of the blissful moments I have spent with you come creeping over me, and I feel most gratified to God and to you that I have enjoyed them for so long. And hard it is for me to give them up and burn to ashes the hopes of future years, when, God willing, we might still have lived and loved together, and seen our sons grow up to honorable manhood around us. I have, I know, but few and small claims upon divine providence, but something whispers to me. Perhaps it is the wafted prayer of my little Edgar, that I shall return to my loved ones unharmed. If I do not, my dear Sarah, never forget how much I love you. And when my last breath escapes me on the battlefield, it will whisper your name. Forgive my many faults and the many pains I have caused you. How thoughtless and foolish I have oftentimes been. How gladly would I wash out with my tears every little spot upon your happiness. But oh, Sarah, if the dead can come back to this earth and flit unseen around those they loved, I shall always be near you. In the gladdest days and in the darkest nights, always, always. And if there be a soft breeze upon your cheek, it shall be my breath, as the cool air fans your throbbing temple. It shall be my spirit passing by. Sarah, do not mourn me dead. Think I am gone, and wait for thee, for we shall meet again. Sullivan Ballou was killed a week later at the First Battle of Bull Run, July 21st, 1861. No love, no nothing, until my baby comes home. No sir, no nothing, as long as baby must roam. I promised him I'd wait for him no matter how bad the conditions are, wherever a soldier is fighting, the letters they send back home always stress that like they need to be there and it's really important to them. And I have personal experience with this, and that's exactly how the letters always are, because it's like they have to remind themselves that it's important that they're there and that they want to risk their lives for this, because if they didn't, they wouldn't be there, But then, the person that's left back home is usually the one that's, this is horrible, your conditions are terrible, how can you do it? And, the person who's out there is the one who has to be strong, which is kind of hard to, reason with, but that's how it usually ends up. But I think World War II was when letters and songs and things started to be more upbeat. And it's really interesting because I think that's because, America had a stronger sense of identity as a country, whereas in, the Revolutionary War, the Civil War, it was every man for himself kind of thing. It was more like a personal fight. So I think that's the important turn of events. I don't really know if that was shown in this presentation, but I couldn't do, 50 letters. So, just, I guess that's the lesson.